Hi, and welcome to my Friday evening live card making tutorial. This evening, I'm going to be using the Retiring Everyday Details stamp set to make a handmade Mother's Day card, and I'll be using a cornucopia of retiring products because they are what they call last chance products now. For us old timers, they were retiring forever, but last chance products that are available now only while supplies last. And you'll find discounts up to 60% off. And I'll be sharing what those discounts are with you. Well, Miss Adelaide, hello. At Mother's Day card, Miss Adelaide, I thought about you as I was doing this. This card is so my mom. I thought, oh, yes, it does. It makes a lovely Mother's Day card. And of course, you could use it for other occasions. So let me start by introducing myself. I'm Shelley Godby, and for 24 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. Oh, and Miss Bonnie B is here. Good evening. All right, she's already given my video a thumbs up and a share, and Miss Danette is here. You know, before I go live, it seems like I get 2 thumbs up before it even starts, and you all just rock. So thank you for that. All right, let's have a closer look at this stamp set. And again, this stamp set caught my fancy because of my mom. She just loves birds. She knows them by their song, and which just amazes me. And this teacup is real pretty, and of course the flowers. But these two are the ones that really grabbed me because they look like my mom. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I should have used that for my Mother's Day card because she has 3 children. How perfect. And then it comes with some greetings that are very lovely. You make every day a little brighter. Overjoyed for you in this new journey, and wishing you so much joy on this special day. So thank you. I mean, so yes, there we go. And you didn't get a lot of heads up because it was one of those days. And but hey, I am here, so it is good. So we need to start with some die cutting. And this card came about because a friend sent me 2 cards she made with the linked together dies. And aren't these, I just love these. And this to me looks like a lattice. And I've used it before and I am hooked on it. And if I remember, because I don't always remember at the end, I want to show you a card she made using this die. And I'll show you that after we're done. Well, actually, and she used, yeah, very cool. So we're going to use this one. And I'm also going to use the Retiring Flowers of Beauty dies. Oh, you know what I'm not doing? Okay, let's do this. Hello, I took all the time to do that. So let's start here. The Everyday Details stamp set. Look at that. It is 40% off, so only $14.40. Fantastic. Love a sale. Okay, and then the Flowers of Beauty dies. Here we go. They are discounted as well. Is it coming up? There we go. So they are 20% off. Aren't these beautiful? So you've got the outline dies go with the stamp set, but then the intricate dies. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, and so I was just showing you the link together dies. These are so popular. They're just retiring and available while supplies last. Everything retiring is available while supplies last. So I'm thinking, this could go anytime. I mean, any of them could, but when it's still at full price, it tells me you don't have a lot of them. And so both of my die sets, I have stored on these magnet cards that I get from Stampin' Storage. And this is a separate company from Stampin' Up, but they have products to keep our craft supplies and our craft rooms beautifully organized. Super strong. Look at that. The dies aren't going to fall off. So much easier for me to get it back on here instead of that piece of cardstock with tape on it. And then I slip it into one of these storage pockets. The storage pockets are cool because the link together um, dies, there's a bundle, and includes these decorative masks, and that was a lot of fun. And all that fits right into the storage bucket. I'm going to recommend that you follow my link because I don't want you to do like I did and accidentally order sleeves. You really want the pockets. So the link is under the video. And but right here, the QR code. Now, what I do want to tell you about is they're having a weekend sale. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the more you order, the more you save. So I think it starts at $75, and then if you order enough, you get a free mystery gift. And of course, I don't know what that is because that's a mystery. But wow, if you ever wanted to do, deck out your craft room or stock up on, what a great time while you can save so much money. So we're going to look, this is really intricate, right? Trying to get, as much as I like it, the stamp and seal on there, I would be a hot mess. And I'm going to use this die, very intricate. So we're going to make our life easy by using the adhesive sheets. Oh, Miss Anne, fantastic. Good evening. And these come in 6 by 12 sheets. And the piece that you peel off, that's where the adhesive is. And I cut them. I learned my lesson. I cut them a little smaller than the cardstock because I found out um, trying to get it just the exact size. Well, it wasn't working. I had, because I'm not perfect. I know you're surprised. And it hung over a little bit. I had adhesive all over my cutting pads, and then it turned black, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. It's like, okay. The other lesson I learned is don't overlap them. Give it a little bit of break. Overlapping them makes it all kinds of special trying to remove them, the backing, because what we're going to do is turn our die cuts into self-adhesive die cuts. So that little bit of break is what you want because it's going to make it a lot easier to remove them, okay? And yes, it'll just make it easier. Like I said, overlapped, not a good idea. And so I don't know if I told you, this is soft seafoam cardstock. And my mom and I both love pink and green, so we will be doing pink and green. And then I have this die, so another adhesive sheet. And if you cut it where it doesn't end up on a break like this, I then when it's done, I take my take your pick tool and start tearing on that backing to get it off. Oh, okay. Well, welcome, one of my Rumble viewers. Fantastic. Yes, thank you. Well, and thank you for coming over and watching. So we've got these on, so we're ready to die cut. All right, so let me grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Oh, and we're going to do some embossing, hence the name Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Oh, yes. Yeah, pink and green. All right, so here's my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And you saw how it folds up. So it has a really low profile. I'm getting that handle out of the way. So now I need to build what is called a sandwich. And I'm going to use a magnetic platform for the die cutting. So you could use plate number 1 and plate number 3 that come with it. Well, okay, 1, 2, and to get to the appropriate thickness, where the magnetic platform. Now this is something I picked up on Amazon. Stampin' Up doesn't carry this, but all those little circles, those are the magnets. And so regardless if I use plate number 1 and 2 or the magnetic platform, we need a cutting plate, a plate number 3. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Someone else has checked in. Oh, Miss Melanie. Fantastic. Well, thank you. All right. And I am heckin' the way. All right. Oh, okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm so glad you all are here. And all right. So then let's start with our crumb cake cardstock with the adhesive sheets on the back. Now put the adhesive, put that down, okay? And let's grab our die. And I just need to get it on there. You know what? We may be able to do both of these at the same time. All right, so then the soft seafoam. My mom is really going to like this card, and I'm excited for you to see it because I tried a lot of different colors before I made my final decision. And so I don't know if you noticed this rough edge, that's the cutting edge. Please place that down. So what you need to do then is please place your plate number 3 on it. Don't scoot it on. If you scoot it, you may scoot the dies off. So place it on there. And now we've got the appropriate thickness to die cut this, because if it's too thick, it won't go through. And if it's not thick enough, it won't cut a daggum thing. And so, but all of this is printed on, the magnetic platform telling you, and because I will be using this, I have it right here, and it has the directions on, okay, I'll have to show you later, but the direction, so you don't have to memorize all this, or you can just watch the video and follow me. Okay, so let's, take that off, and we'll use plate number 1, and they're all numbered for us. And I'm going to use, and you know what? I forgot to write down that name. It is under the video. Time worn, it's not time worn, something tile. Anyway, distressed, I'm not sure. But this is retiring. And all the products that I'm using are listed under the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. But of course, while supplies last. So what I have here is some soft seafoam. We're going to put this in here. I don't need to be incredibly careful. Sometimes the design, you'd want to really make sure you're nice and straight. This isn't as important, but you want the hinge to go through first. And the hinge to go through, I was reading some comments. All right. You're so welcome. The hinge to go through first, and how you remember that, the Stampin' Up logo facing you. Perfect. And then because it's a 3D embossing folder, and the 3Ds are stinking cool because you get a really deep image, we're not going to use plate number 1, or the cutting plates, which normally would with a regular one. We'd use 2 of them. Not with this. No extra, no cutting plate. It's right on our plate number 1, but we won't hurt anything because we're not die cutting. We're just embossing. It's all in here. All right. Go spread the love. I sure appreciate it every time you pop in. But then we need a specialty plate. Now this comes with the purchase of a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But if you have another die cutting machine, say the Big Shot with the same size plates, and this is, you can purchase this separately, but you need this with the 3D. It's either that or try to shim it, and no, we got a tool, let's just use it. So let's crank this through. And so this is a really good casual Friday card because it looks a little bit fussy, but it's just so simple. All right. I wish I had written that down. I forgot. But okay, there, if I turn it in the light, isn't that cool? And so if someone is on YouTube and wants to look up that name, that'd be great. Because because I used a lot. I'm not even done showing you all the retiring products that I'm using this evening. Okay, so let's take care of this. And punch all this out. They just, it does such a great job. And then you have these little punch out holes. There we go. And my take your pick tool, I just can't imagine trying to do anything without it. And so, it does such a good job. They just pop out. We had a machine where we had to get a special plate and crank it through 2-3 times. And it was a little frustrating. Not the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You saw it was just one time through. And it was extra thick, right? Because of the adhesive sheets. And a lot of times when you pull the backing off, the rest of this comes with it anyway. Okay. There we go. So we've got that. I have to get the mess out of the way if you've been following me at all. And fantastic. And then, this silhouette. And see what's so cool about these? Right back on there. I'm not going to lose anything because that's a bummer. If you lose a die, you can't order just the die. You'd have to get the whole set. So these will pay for themselves, if you're not losing dies. Because, wow, I don't know if you've ever done that. I don't believe I have. Distress tile. Thank you, Miss Lois. Yes, distressed tile, and it is beautiful, but retiring. And I don't remember the discount. Pretty sure it was at least 20%. I think perhaps more. So what we're going to do is gently pull this out. Okay. And with the adhesive sheets, there we go. Without them, it pops out even easier, but it's okay because this is going to save us from needing to use liquid glue because I get it everywhere. And we won't have the drying time and all of that. It's all so good. Okay, here we go. Boy, Miss Lois, I sure appreciate you. Distressed tile. That is so right. Okay. And when they're intricate like this, especially the adhesive sheets, you don't want to just start pulling and tear anything. You want to be careful. We are almost there. There we go. Okay. And tomorrow I'll have a link to my blog post with all of the measurements to make it easy to duplicate my card if you'd like to, as well as a downloadable PDF that will include the card sketch. Because this card that I'm demonstrating, I mean, it's not the same at all, but it's based off of the card she found me through Stampin' Up, and we've become good friends. And that she sent me. It's like, oh, I told her, I said, oh yeah, I will be using that, and you'll be seeing a card based off of your card. And that's what the card sketches, because you can look and say, oh, I've got a stamp set of the same size, and you've got that jumping off point. And that's what I say about my hassle-free cards. It's a card subscription of cards that are easy to make. That you have, the idea for that card, but then you also have um, all the directions and everything to make it easy to use it again for yet another project. Okay, so, oops, too far away, too far away. Here we go. Our embossing and die cutting's done. So now some stamping. And Miss Lois, oh, she was placing an order last night and saw, okay, I thought, okay, fantastic. However, yes. And Miss Roxanne, well, we're so glad you're here. You know what? The cool thing is you can always go back and see what you missed. So what I have here is some basic white cardstock, because whenever you're stamping on white cardstock, you absolutely want to use the Stampin' Up! Basic white cardstock. Why? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because it has a smooth, tight finish that gives you crisp, clean images. And my goodness, we want a good image. So I'm going to be using the Stampin' Blends. So for that, I need the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. We'll pick this up and slide it in. And if you have not yet, please give my video a thumbs up and a share. That doesn't cost you a penny, but it is just such a nice thing to do. It lets others know that, hey, I like this and would like you to see it. And then YouTube, which is Google, says, oh, let me show more people. So I really appreciate that. So, all right, so straight up and down. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, you could probably get away with, oh, of course you could, just stamping this in a solid color other than black. But I want to color in, so we shall. All right. And here we go. You know what? I'm going to cut it out, I just realized, with my paper snips. Now, typically I color first because I think it's easier when there's more to hang on to, but the paper snips are amazing. And I want to leave that little white border around it. So with your cuts, don't chop, chop, chop. Just pretty much turn your cardstock with it, because that choppy look is not attractive. And then stay away, because that white border is really sharp. And so here we go. And see how easy that is to just turn your cardstock and curve around with it. I find it enjoyable to do what others call fussy cutting. I don't care for that name, but that's okay. What most call fussy cutting. I find it to be really peaceful because I tend to, well, I talk fast and walk fast, and so what I like about it is it has me slow down and take my time, and that just lowers the heart rate and just really enjoy that. Okay, so I do have one finished. And let's go ahead and color. So I'm going to start with Bubble Bath, and I've got the light and the dark. And you know what? Now, when you're coloring with these, okay, I've got so many thoughts going on. Oh, Miss Roxanne still doesn't like it. Okay, so I have one of my sweet stampers who maybe she has arthritis or she said that they were really tight. And Stampin' Up gave a couple tips for getting off because you want your caps to be on tight. You don't want your alcohol markers to dry out. So one tip was, and it was in the middle of winter, to hold it and let it warm up a little. But the other was don't pull off, go side to side. So if you're having trouble, I haven't tried that because I just pull straight off, but she was having trouble. So I just thought I'd share that tip. I'm going to start with the dark. Typically, I start with the light and then add my shading. And if you really want the colors to blend, you're supposed to work in a small area and don't let it dry so the colors really blend. But this is so light, I want that to dry for me. I want this to dry a little bit so it will stand out better. And you know what? Let's see. Let's come in. Okay. So let that dry a little. And I'm using the bullet end because this is so small. And we'll go back in with the light. And if you're not pleased, you can always add some more. Although by letting that dry a little bit, it is standing out much, much better. So that's Bubble Bath. And I do like to keep those lids back on. For the center, I have the dark Lemon Lolly. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And then, of course, soft sea foam, right? That's our color. So I am going to start again with the dark in the bullet end because it's such a small area. And outline. There we go. There we go. Okay. And that pretty much filled it in because, like I said, it is so small, but that's okay. And the veins. There we go. The veins. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And I'm getting over the need to cover it, to color in every bit of it. That little bit of white is attractive. And so then I have crumb cake because I decided this is a cup of tea. This is the crumb cake light. If you want it to be coffee, you could use crumb cake dark or soft suede would be good. And so then it came down to what color do I do my teacup? And I tried all kinds of different ones. And then I went, oh, gracious, look how Petunia Pop coordinates with Bubble Bath. Like ding, 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 we have a winner. And so I was thinking the inside of the cup was a different color. So I went and looked at my cups and no, they weren't. So we'll just use the Petunia Pop for all of it. So I have the light here. And let's go in here and color. So while I'm sharing with you, while I'm doing this, we can talk. So if you've been following me for a while, you may remember last year, my mom, we went to a lot of appointments for her eyes and she had eye surgery and, recovered very well. Well, Monday we went to get her glasses because the eyes had settled enough to get glasses, and she had been a little discouraged because she couldn't see as well as she thought she should. And I said, well, Mom, your eyes have improved because we had been back. Because if you have eye surgery, you go back over and over and over. And she was reading 3 lines better. I said, well, once you get your new glasses, I'm sure it will be so much better. And they don't want to hurry that. They don't want to go too fast because your eyes keep improving. And you don't want to have to, glasses are so expensive. So all that to say, when we went to pick up her glasses, oh my goodness, she was reading the smallest print that they had. And here's the dark. And they already gave us these lines. That tells you where the shading would be. So it makes it super simple to shade by following those lines. And I'm working in a small area because I do want this to stand out. And let's go to that brush end because this is bigger. So happy that, going through that surgery and all the trips, because it was an 80-mile or more trip every time we went, and we went a lot. worth every bit of it because now that tiny, tiny print she can read. Okay. And let's come in with the dark because you can see the shade lines there. That just makes it so simple. I've got this in my hand, so let's do this. And that's a small area. Let's do, it is the light. I don't know if you've ever done that. I've grabbed the wrong one. Went, ooh, a little darker than I wanted because you can always go darker. It's, hard to go lighter. So there we go. See that? And I find it easier to color. I think we're going to be done. That shading is pretty. I find it easier to color with a big piece before I cut it out. But if I did all that coloring and didn't do a good job, I'd be upset. So I always die cut before coloring. So doing this first would make sense too. Isn't that one sweet teacup? Mm-mm-mm. And look, with our green and that little bit of the bubble bath. All right, so let's start building it. And what I have here is, oh, I better come back out. Whew. Let's go back out so we can see there we go. And I have my lattice. I'm calling it lattice. And it was pretty on here, but like my friend, embossing really did dress that up. So I'm really pleased with that. And I know I need them. Okay, mini glue dots. Because whenever you have all this texture, you want something stronger. And so I'm going to use the mini glue dots. And here's my take your pick tool. And well, I don't know if I need that. Let's try this. So I'm on the back side, and you don't want to touch the mini glue dots because that takes away their extreme stickiness. So let's do this. And I'm going to be generous with them because embossing doesn't always lay perfectly flat, because, whoops, it was embossed. And so if we use several glue dots, it will lay nice and flat for us. So I hope everyone has took advantage of free shipping because, wow, that is a lot of fun. And with discounts up to 60% off. So I hope you had a really good time shopping. I know I did. And I ordered the kits. I used the kits for the youth camp scholarships with the ladies at church. Went, oh, fantastic. Just that much more when I collect it that will go towards the youth camp scholarships. So I ordered for May and everyone I know coming in June. So we've got the core group that they're always there. Okay, there we go. And so one of my favorite looks, because it does dress it up, but it's like using, is tone on tone. But I do like subtle, and this is going to be subtle. I'll show you. I've got it here in Bubble Bath, because that was my original plan, so I can show you both. So you can decide. Obviously, I decided what I wanted, but so then you can decide. Okay, and so here was the original. I thought, well, that is pretty. And I really wanted my teacup to pop. But I'm not sure. Like I said, I kept playing around. And I liked this, well, obviously better because this is where I'm going. And because then my teacup really popped. So here we go. The Take Your Pick tool is fantastic. You see that break in there? Good. I mean, because what? 99% of this is covered. We don't need every little bit. And you see how that came with the adhesive sheet. It came right with it, so I didn't have to poke those out of those holes. Not that it would have been that big of a deal, but it is a nice thing with the adhesive sheets, how it pulls out virtually everything. Okay, so now that I said it, it didn't. That's where my Take Your Pick tool comes in, because I do want those out. There we go. These dies are from the January through April 2025 mini catalog, and I fell in love with them right away. And well, the whole thing, the masks are cool too, but especially the dies. So let's place this about right here. Let's not press down yet. And then we have got a break in here somewhere. There we go. And peel all of that off. So last chance products, of course, with all the free shipping. I've been too busy to look, but I imagine plenty of things have sold out. So, even if you've missed the free shipping, get in there and order anything you want that's retiring. I don't want you to end up on eBay paying 3, 4 times the price. No, no, no. Get it while it's available to order in my online store. Have I mentioned my online store? www.shopwithshelly.com. And the new Stampin' Rewards program started, and so you have to opt into it. A screen comes up right in your face, so click agree. A couple of my sweet ladies didn't. One of them turned around and ordered, I think, again that same day or the next day, and did opt in. So that's fantastic. But you have to opt in. And I was thinking about that. I thought, why didn't Stampin' Up just put it in there? But anytime there's a reward system at a store, we always have to opt in. So I don't know if it's a legality thing or just one. And even some places where, I order online, if they have a rewards program, I have to on purpose opt in. So it must be, not that they're trying to make things difficult, because they certainly want us to know about it the way they had it right there the first time you log in, starting this Tuesday. So yeah, thinking about it, it's like must be a legal thing. Okay, we're almost have this with the Stampin' Rewards. So you get 10 as long as you order at least $20. You're getting 10% in Stampin' Rewards to use on a future order. And they are good for up to a year. So I just want to make sure I have this not too high. I think I'd like it down just a tad bit. There we go. And I didn't want it centered. I have it off-centered on purpose because I just thought it looked cool. And then I did add to it. All right, so let's press everywhere on that. Put this on here. Cool, cool, cool. And then my favorite adhesive ever, the Stampin' Dimensionals. We're going to give this a lift and a dimensional here. I don't feel like one in the center would be quite enough. I want it to have this support. And peel that right off. And then we have our finishing touches. So there we go. So I know that green is subtle against the green, but wow. But I really am drawn to muted and understated. I really like the clean and simple cards. So now our greeting, I'm thinking of Miss Adelaide for Happy Mother's Day, and my mom, totally my mom. So we've got Happy Mother's Day in the flower cart stamp set, and I have that here for you, and it is 50% off. Now there are coordinating dies, but of course you'd want to order them separately because you'll save a lot more than if they're even bundled anymore. This is a carryover. I'm not sure it's bundled. 50% off. And so you can make these beautiful flower carts. And I've got Happy Mother's Day in here. So, woohoo. Okay. So let's come back with the tuxedo black that I moved way out of the way. And this is a photopolymer stamp set. And both of these I have on a clear block C. And these are our acrylic blocks. Oh my gracious, so comfortable to hang on to. You have the grooved edges that are rounded and smooth. Well, rounded. When I say smooth, I mean there's nothing to scratch you. Really comfortable. Let's see how well I do, because I wanted this as, as small as possible. Happy Mother's Day. And I love a mix of print and script, straight up and down. Hey, look at that. Life is good. All right. And then I have the paper butterfly accents. Aren't these pretty? My goodness. And these are retiring, and they are 30% off. So and what I like is they fall out easily, but that's good because then you don't have a little hanging chad because that's unattractive. So let's take this out, and you can use either side. And I've got my greeting that will go about right here, and it felt a little harsh. So we're back with our Stampin' Blends and Bubble Bath and Soft Sea Foam. And let's just quickly color. You know, alcohol markers dry real quickly. There we go. And underneath me I have this silicone mat. So I'm not concerned about going off the edge at all. I really like my silicone mat. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and put the Mother's Day on, and we're going to use the mini glue dots again. And I didn't, oh, here we go. And this time, oh, I see one I missed. I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pick that up. And there we go. It's time to tear off this tail. Not of the butterfly, that would be cruel. All right, let's get this out of the way. Fantastic. So I'm going to tuck that in, right side up, about right there. Very, very nice. I need another mini glue dot. Here we go. Put that right there. And the placement of this worked out really cool because a little bit of it touching on my greeting. I certainly don't want to cover up the words, but that turned out cool. And so then we have one more finishing touch, and that is the blooming pearls. Aren't these beautiful? Now these are 20% off, and again, while supplies last. And so I looked up the colors, and it said this was petal pink. It sure looks pinker than that to me, and I'm very pleased with it. It looks as pink as everything else I'm using. So I always press down on the embellishment because I want the adhesive to stick to the embellishment, not the acetate sheet. And that had happened a time or two, you know, enough that I just got into that habit of pressing down. And so let's pick up a small one. I just think these are so pretty. I've always loved these. Of course, now retiring, make room for something new. There we go. And one more about right there. And there we have it. A Mother's Day card that was pretty easy to make. And so we got all of our self-adhesive die cuts, our subtle background, and a plethora of retiring products that are available only while supplies last. And all of this started with the Everyday Details stamp set. Now, I was telling you with the linked together dies, my friend, I've got a card here to show you that she made. And so you saw this with the bubble bath and the soft sea foam. Whoops. Oh, I wanted to show you something else. How cool is this? And so this is the triangle die that she cut in half to mat, and then the flowers and these stems. So this is a linked together card. Oh, thank you, Miss Danette. And oh, Miss Lois. Oh, sophisticated. That's so sweet. So isn't that pretty? Like, oh, that is so cool. So there we go. Oh, I want to show you something else. Oh, you like the green. Okay. I mean, I do, but I know it's really understated. So, and I was playing with this last night. Let me do this so you can see. And I tend to go to the white for the lattice because my lattice in my yard is white. And I thought, ooh, black. And the black was a little bit harsh, but don't you like that as a shadow underneath it? So I've got, you know, two of them with the black. Oh, thank you, Miss Molly. That could be really sharp. I would say not with the distressed tile, but with something else. What do you think? I thought, ooh, wish they weren't retiring. I've really enjoyed these, and I could do more stuff like this. Okay, So there we go. And I enjoyed making this and, of course, sharing it with you and spending my Friday evening with you. I am here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with a live video. In virtually 2 years, I haven't missed yet. I know one day it'll happen, but so far, not at all. And so, you can count on that to come over on a Tuesday. So if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube and subscribe and hit notifications, so you should be told whenever I upload a video or whenever I schedule a live video or even just go live if I decided, well, oh, I just want to go live. And so go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you're always told. You should. Miss Shirley isn't here because she doesn't get notifications, and I don't have an answer for that. Um, and so, but do it, and hopefully you will get notifications because I enjoy having you come join me. And if you haven't yet, please give my video a thumbs up and a share. It really means a lot to me. And so a Mother's Day card, or easily switch out the greeting for something else. Okay. And there we go. Last Chance Products retiring. Available only while supplies last in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com, with discounts up to 60% off. Wow. So it is that time of evening. Let's do this so we can, here we go, in case I can see better. Okay, I don't see any comments that I missed, but I am so glad you joined me. And it's that time of evening where I say that. Thank you for joining me for my live Friday evening card making tutorial. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles.